go ahead and get the engine put back together. The next video will cover some of the issues I had with that, the problems I ran across, things that were done incorrectly before I ever got to it. And once we get the engine put back together, then I'll probably shoot a video to you on that. Alright, well, we got a little progress made. I've got the head disassembled enough to start putting the cam in. I got one of these nifty little boxes to keep up with the lifters and the cam once I pull it out. I think that'll keep it good in storage for a while. I went ahead and threw this back on the motor I got a plastic bag under there and I vacuumed everything out, and I put the valve covers back on temporarily and the intake just set on top of the plastic bag. Let gravity do some work for me there. I'm about to pull off the timing cover and then probably honestly gonna get out of here for the day. I didn't mean to actually do any work today, but I saw it sitting there and just got started. Alright, well, here's the deal. I was gonna do one video that had me doing the engine bay, putting the engine together, and putting it in and just making one big video and showing you everything. However, I've had some setbacks getting the engine put together because the previous engine builder made a few mistakes. Supposed to have been a reputable shop that my best friend had build the engine for him, and there were several things done, like the cam gear bolt was broken, several of the valves were actually not seating all the way, so the adjustments of the push rods, the lash, it had been set so tight that it wasn't even letting the valve completely seat. Various other things. Oh yeah, the push rods were mismatched, and the engine uses guides, and the push rods were factory push rods, which would have eventually been eaten up, and you can see the scoring on them already. The engine has probably less than 200 miles on it, and you could already see the scoring. So I've ordered some nice chromoly push rods to go in. I'm waiting on them to get here. So basically the video, I'm going to go ahead and shoot y'all a video of what I've got so far, and we'll just have to split it in half, because otherwise it's going to be another week and a half, 2 weeks before I can get a video to you. And not that you really care, because there's right now 38 of you, and most of you are probably only watching this to be nice to me, but thanks, appreciate it. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get some stuff done today. I'm not going to video any of it because it's all basically tearing the engine back apart so that I can get the push rods out, because I decided to go ahead and buy the right ones and do everything right, because I've already taken my time to get everything else up to par, and there's no way I'm just gonna throw those push rods back in, with one of them being the correct kind and 15 of them not. And I'll probably turn this back on and show you the push rods once I get them out, and show you why I'm doing this to begin with. But lots of other things, stupid things were done on the engine that there's already been covered in some video before about things breaking because they were on too tight. Anyway, wow, this just keeps getting worse. So it turns out that the guide plates have actually been rubbing against the push rods this whole time. Some of them have been self-clearancing. So it's a good thing I'm replacing the push rods, and it's a good thing we had this engine taken down when we did. Let me see if you can actually see this. Right down in there, that one is making contact, and you can see where it's self-clearanced. This one on this side, let's see if I can get it to focus. That, a little bit of self-clearancing going on. On this side, we've got both of those have done some self-clearancing. That one's trying to right now. Right there. This one is really bad. Like it's completely taken the wall on this side and just ground the shit out of it. This one's been enlarged quite a bit by the push rod. So anyway, yeah, those are the ones that are the worst. And if I can remember correctly, this is the valve that was hanging open completely, both the intake and exhaust. And over here, it was this one. So let's see, is that an intake? Yeah, I think that intake valve was open. So, well, I keep putting the camera in the wrong direction. But yeah, so this it's definitely turned into an adventure, and I'm learning a lot as I go about the guide plates and the push rods, and making sure that they're not grinding each other out. All right, real quick, y'all gotta see this. There is, I just discovered this when I rubbed my finger across the guide plate. The ones where it looked like they might be scrubbing. Oh, they're scrubbing. Let's see if I can get this to focus well enough here. But right down here at the guide plate, if you see that color difference right there, let me just pull that push rod out of the way. So right there, that's metal shavings. That right there, oh yeah, it's gritty, I can feel it. So it's gotten all around the stud. But yeah, I was wondering why it looked all shiny. It's because it's metal shavings on the actual guide plates. So I wonder if they were scrubbing off material or not. Yeah, I think they were. Holy shit, this gets worse the deeper I dig. All right, let me show you something here. When you use guide plates, you're supposed to machine out the hole bigger. Otherwise, it's using the head as the guide. That's the way they come. So basically, these guide plates were installed. The hole that the push rod goes through was never machined. So the guide plates not only have been useless and doing absolutely nothing, but they've also been interfering with the push rods. So basically, the idiots put the guide plates on, didn't machine the head for them, and actually added more resistance and an abrasion point for the push rods, ruining the push rods and adding metal shavings into the oil. That's what they accomplished, was making the engine worse by spending money on putting the guide plates on. Now this was done before the machine shop that my friend took it to had the engine. So this is the way the heads came when I acquired the truck that had the engine in it. So these guide plates were already on here, but the machine shop, the engine building shop with an actual good reputation, should have noticed that. If some idiot doing this in a dirt floor shop is able to pick it up. I mean, this is just ridiculous. This should have never left their shop. They should have called my buddy and said, hey, these guide plates are doing nothing. We should just take them off, or we should machine the head properly to use them. Oh my God, this is ridiculous. All right, guys and girls, we're back at it again, trying to get this engine put together. Push rods came in. I went ahead and ordered Summit's brand one-piece heat-treated push rods. They're the 5/16 by .083, so they have a thicker wall than the stock ones. And it's the 7.8 inch, which is, of course, the stock length. I almost got them all put in there without even, bringing it up. But anyway, here they are. They just come packaged with a bunch of this graphite lube on them already. And I'm just going to get some lube put on each end of them here and get them installed. And I'll get back with y'all shortly. All right, as usual, I got going and forgot to stop and give y'all updates. I've got the engine assembled. I need to drop the distributor, put the water pump on, you know, alternator, power steering pump. Go back and check all my torque specs, but otherwise that's really all that's left, is putting the accessories on, the accessory drives on, and then I'll be back in the engine bay making sure everything's set up before we throw it in there, hopefully this coming weekend. But yeah, I'm going to get back to it, and I'll give y'all an update once it's assembled completely. And this is where I'm at this point. I think she's going to look good with these stainless steel hardware in black. Looks kind of sharp going down through there with all stainless hardware. And of course, through the coming years I'll update different parts on it that haven't been updated today, and eventually it'll be really good looking and driving. Well, I was wondering when this was going to start. I can't find the bolts for the water pump. It's usually about this time when you start losing stuff, right before it all goes back together. Anyway, here's the progress we've made. Got the distributor dropped in, everything is tightened down. Still need to put a gasket here. Oh wait, no, the gasket's there. I need to put a thermostat in there. And of course get all the accessories put on the front. I think there may be a few other things to tighten up. There's a oil sending unit that needs to go in right around here somewhere, like right, yeah, there, right there. Well folks, today was a bit frustrating. Got here and got the alternator installed and used these ICT billet brackets. Not the super happiest with this. It was a bit finicky going on. It seems to be lining up the belt okay for now. We're, of course, proof will be in the pudding. But what really bugs me is the power steering pump for these trucks doesn't have the hole right here like most Saginals. Normally there'd be a stud right here, and that's required for use with the billet bracket for this. So I'm gonna have to order a power steering pump. That kind of sucks. That's just more money I have to spend when my power steering pump works just fine. Didn't really show you how much of the work today, because as soon as I got here and realized that, I kind of got bummed out and just started doing other things like cleaning up the power steering hoses. I was gonna buy new ones, and then since I had the time, I just sat around cleaning these up, and they look definitely good enough to reuse. There was nothing wrong with them to begin with. I might throw some black paint on this, but I'm gonna wait till all the degreaser and lubricating, what is that, penetrating oil that I put on there to break the rust down, because the bolts wouldn't even move. They had sat long enough that they had seized up. So we'll eventually get it put back together, but it's looking like it's going to be even longer and more money sunk into it. I mean, it's not like I'm spending money on anything that I wouldn't have spent money on in the future. I just didn't really want to spend it all at one time. I'm several $1,000s in at this point. Let's see how this is looking. All right, that's good enough to pick up. Got the pulley looking halfway decent today. I don't know if you can really see that very well, but got it cleaned off till it was completely shiny and then painted it, so it should stick pretty good. And something actually went right. All right, so one of the things I have to do is modify my power steering pump so that it can work with the ICT brackets that I'm using on the motor. The deal was, if you look at the reservoir here on the back, there should be a hole right there that the ICT billet bracket goes onto. But on the square body pickups, I don't know if all, but definitely on this one, the Saginaw pump only has, it's the style with only the bolt hole up here. Somebody on GM Square Body Forum, the most awesome forum on the planet, told me that these pumps are actually somewhat universal, and that when you look here, look at there, it's got the bolt hole and the O-ring and everything there, just waiting. So basically you drill a hole in the old reservoir and you end up saving yourself some money. I had already ordered another pump, and then this guy came on real quick on the forum and was like, you know, hey, you can do this modification, save me some money. Of course, I'd rather spend money on tools. Well, there she is, worms and germs. We finally got this power steering pump on here. I think it looks pretty good with those ICT billet brackets. Looking pretty fancy. Yeah, so I just got to get the pulley pressed on there and the fan attached, and she's ready to go back in. Or not back in, because this engine's never been in this truck, but anyway, yeah. Well, that's about as far as I can get for today. I need to go track down those belts, get them on, then I'll toss the fan on, and well, actually I'll toss the fan on first, seeing as that holds the pulley down. Anyway, went ahead and threw the carb and breather back on there just for getting a picture, but I think it looks awesome. Let's just hope I put it back together correctly and that it runs just as awesome. Anyway guys, this has been a great adventure so far. I think I'm going to make a video that shows everything up until this point, and then the next one will be the day of the drop-in, which is actually tomorrow for me. So I'm going to end this video off here, and the new video will start right now.